Oh, Shaq, it's been such a long time since we've seen you in that bad video game that you were in. And now you're back in another bad video game. Yay? Hello everyone, my name's James. This is Shaq Fu, a Legend Reborn, which is a grandiose title for what is a very mediocre game. It is, as you can see, a nostalgic 2D, 2.5D in this case, style brawler in the likes of those old classic brawlers from the 16-bit era, but only they've dressed it up to make it look a little bit fancier. This was a crowd-funded game. I think it was an Indiegogo that they did. They got $450,000 and it's taken about 4 years to develop, and I am not that impressed, it's safe to say. There's a full review up on Pocket Gamer where Harry's been incredibly scathing about it, and it's fairly well deserved for a number of reasons. The main problem we have here is it's trying to be oh so funny, you guys, and all of it feels well outdated because it's using, I don't know, like hoary sort of 90s stereotypical like nasty Chinese stuff, which just feels like a bit cringy. And if I can compare it to something, I want to say it makes me think of Duke Nukem Forever, where it's like, hey, remember all that hilarious stuff that was hilarious in like 1991? Remember how girls are rubbish and how foreigners are strange? Yeah, it's funny, right? Right? And it's like, well, no. It wasn't especially funny then. It's definitely not funny now. And to try and use that as the kind of crux of your game just feels a bit lazy. And then beyond all of that, you might like the comedy, I don't know, you might find this kind of stuff funny, and it's just a taste thing. What I cannot forgive is the gluey, nasty gameplay. That's the real problem we've got going on here. So, Shaq's supposed to be this big, sturdy basketball dude who's been thrown into the middle of all this Chinese mysticism. You never get a sense that he's got any power whatsoever. Like, he gets a billion enemies, cookie-cutter enemies thrown at him. These guys in hats. This is the entire first level for about 15-20 minutes. Nothing but this over and over and over again. The impacts are kind of non-existent. You don't feel the punches or anything when they land. You get nasty instances where he gets stuck on bits of the scenery. Can't move up or down very easily as a result of it when you get stuck. That's a real pain. The controls are cramped into the lower right-hand corner. Little tiny buttons, like that little kick button that I just did there, the little orange one next to the punch. It's like, it's about 1/8 the size of my fingernail. It's tiny. It's not very comfortable to use at all. And I don't know, it's just, I understand what it's trying to do. I understand it's trying to kind of recapture the old fun of the 1980s. And you can do that. You can do it really well, in fact. One of the games I always point to as a brilliant example of, let's take an old format and then redo it for the modern era and it'll work really well. This kind of thing, like side-scrolling brawler, that Scott Pilgrim game they released when the movie came out, that was brilliant. That really felt like one of those games from the like late 80s, and it was properly tough and really fun and really inventive and clever. This doesn't feel like that. This feels like it's dressing up its own kind of lameness in an ironic garb, being like, oh yeah, well it's all supposed to be a joke anyway, so it's not supposed to be good. And that's not an excuse for being a bit rubbish, and I feel like that's what this is. So you can download the first chapter for free, which is the bit that I'm playing right now. You can also unlock the rest, but it's $4.99. It's a full price thing, and if you try and play through the entire thing, I've obviously looked at all the people who've like completed the game. About 2 hours you can play through this game in, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Length isn't, you know, an indicator on whether you should get a game or not, but apparently it's about 2 hours of quite samey gameplay that isn't especially satisfying, and then when you couple it with these controls that lack impact and I don't know, it doesn't feel like an attractive prospect for me. I don't find it very funny. I don't find the gameplay very enjoyable. I know which of those crimes I think is worse. If the controls feel a bit rubbish and I'm not enjoying the combat, then there's not much to get out of a combat game, is there? So if you want to grab it, you can get it right now. First chapter for free. Try it for yourself, see if you like it. But I cannot give this one the recommendation. I think it's a bit garbage. So there you go. Shaq Fu, a Legend Reborn. Yeah, not so much. Thanks for watching. See you next time.